The Syrian civil war has long been one of the most complex and devastating conflicts in the modern era. However, a major turning point occurred in late 2024 when the regime of Bashar al-Assad, which had dominated Syrian politics for over 5 decades, fell after a rapid 10-day offensive by rebel forces. With old powers fading and new factions rising, the question now is, what happens next for a nation that has known nothing but conflict for more than a decade? Let's find out. The unexpected collapse of Assad's regime. On December 8, 2024, the unimaginable happened. Bashar al-Assad, who had been in power for over 20 years, fled Syria after rebel forces, led by the Islamist group Hayat Tahrir al-Sham (HTS) and the Turkish-backed Syrian National Army (SNA), captured the capital city of Damascus. This attack, which began with the seizure of Aleppo on November 30, was a bold and successful offensive that caught Assad and his supporters off guard. For months, the civil war had seemed like a frozen conflict. The Assad regime, backed by powerful allies like Russia, Iran, and Hezbollah, had regained most of the territory it had lost to opposition forces over the years. But in late 2024, the rebel coalition managed to break through this stalemate. The Syrian Arab Army, once seen as an unyielding force, failed to mount an effective defense. In the chaos that followed, Assad fled to Moscow, leaving behind a government in ruins. The role of regional powers and international influence. The fall of Assad has redefined the power dynamics in Syria, especially with the involvement of regional and international players. Russia and Iran, two of Assad's most steadfast allies, were notably absent during the final stages of the offensive. Their lack of significant military support for Assad's forces raised many questions about the future of their influence in Syria. While both countries had spent years helping Assad regain control, their failure to act decisively during his collapse has left a vacuum of power. On the other hand, Turkey, which has backed various opposition groups throughout the war, has emerged as one of the most important players. The success of the SNA, backed by Turkish military support, is a testament to Turkey's growing influence in shaping Syria's future. Turkey's primary goal remains countering Kurdish forces in northern Syria, but with Assad's departure, the strategic landscape in Syria has shifted. It's unclear whether Turkey will focus solely on its security interests or try to take a more active role in shaping Syria's post-Assad government. At the same time, Israel, which has conducted airstrikes against Iranian and Syrian military positions for years, has stepped up its operations in Syria. The timing of these attacks is significant, particularly after the October 2023 Hamas attacks on Israel. As tensions continue to rise in the region, Israel's operations in Syria are likely to intensify. The Kurdish struggle continues. Amidst the chaos of Assad's downfall, the Kurds, particularly the Syrian Democratic Forces (SDF), find themselves in a delicate position. The SDF, which controls large parts of northeastern Syria, has been at odds with both the Assad government and Turkish forces. For years, the Kurds have fought to carve out an autonomous region in Syria, but with Assad's fall, the Kurdish forces are facing new challenges. They must navigate a complex landscape where regional actors, including Turkey and Arab tribes, continue to oppose their influence. Turkey, in particular, has been relentless in its attacks against Kurdish groups, seeing them as extensions of the PKK, Kurdistan Workers' Party, which is designated as a terrorist organization. As Kurdish forces continue to clash with Arab tribes and face mounting pressure from Turkey, their future remains uncertain. What's more, the vacuum left by Assad's departure has allowed extremist groups like the Islamic State, ISIS, to re-establish themselves in some regions, particularly in Syria's vast deserts. The rise of these groups, compounded by the ongoing conflict and internal strife, has made it even harder to envision lasting peace. The war's toll on the Syrian people. The human cost of the Syrian civil war has been staggering. Over 600,000 people have lost their lives, and millions more have been displaced, either within Syria or across its borders. Refugee camps in neighboring countries, particularly in Turkey, Lebanon, and Jordan, are overwhelmed, and the infrastructure in these regions is stretched to its limits. Syria itself remains a shattered nation, with cities like Aleppo, Homs, and Idlib reduced to rubble. The economy, once vibrant, is in tatters. Despite significant international aid efforts, much of the country remains without basic services, and the rebuilding process will take years, if not decades. With nearly 7 out of 10 Syrians requiring humanitarian assistance, the situation looks bleak for many, even after Assad's departure. Syria's deep sectarian and ethnic divisions, which were exacerbated by the war, will also make it challenging to rebuild. With rival factions controlling different regions, Syria's post-war future may be marked by continued factional fighting, making the possibility of a unified country increasingly remote. What's next for Syria? Now that Assad is no longer in power, Syria's future is uncertain. The country is left with multiple factions vying for control and no clear path toward reconciliation. While the fall of Assad offers a glimmer of hope for those who suffered under his rule, it also presents new challenges. Can the rebel groups who have long fought against Assad unite to form a stable government? Will they prioritize rebuilding or continue their infighting? But one thing is clear: Syria's journey toward peace and stability will be long and arduous. While Assad's fall marks the end of an era, it is only the beginning of a new chapter in Syria's complex and tragic history. Share your thoughts in the comments section below. Like and share the video and follow us for more updates. Thanks for watching.